Wyatt, who's been working with Judge Auna on a truancy court project. Why truancy? Because truancy is one of the #1 detectors if someone is going to be involved with the criminal justice system as an adult. I'd like to acknowledge Lisa Faulkner-Anoy, who's behind me, our special projects coordinator that works with primarily our youth projects, who's really done an amazing job. We have the BIJAC, which is the Big Island Juvenile Intake Assessment Center, which opened today in Hilo. This is a project which started years ago by Jay Kimura and other agencies working together. BIJAC will provide immediate intake assessment for youth who commit crimes, actually nonviolent crimes, and will allow police to return to their duties and protecting the community. Lisa's also working on a project called High Top, Hawaii Island Teen Outreach Project. And this project is designated to reduce teen violence, teen pregnancy, and increase academic success. She also is responsible for our annual Career Opportunities Fair, which we did with, I believe, 50, well, we brought in over 486 youth to the Sangha Hall this year. She's done this every year. We worked with 52 different agencies. And she's also responsible for putting on the annual Youth Summit, where we bring in teens from around the island who will work on projects that directly impact their communities. What does that have to do with the prosecutor's office? Has everything to do with trying to keep the numbers down that come to us. Integrity and respect has been another big mission that we've been working on. We're looking at how we treat people, not just in our office, but outside our office, and especially the victims that we deal with. One of the projects that we started this year is we started having our felony deputy prosecutors contact victims right when they get the cases. That seems like kind of a no-brainer sometimes, but our prosecutors are so busy, and you'll see the statistics in a few moments, how busy they are, that oftentimes there isn't enough time. But just having these prosecutors get in touch with people, tell them, my name is Mitch Roth, I'm going to be dealing with the case in court, I'm going to be turning this over to the victim witness coordinator to talk to you during the time, just so they know what's going on, giving them a chance to be treated, with dignity and respect and understand what's going on. We're building partnerships. We're cooperating closer with the police department. We're sending our deputies down to their briefings. We're talking to them, and rather than just sending follow-up requests, we're trying to get down to the cases quicker. At the big cases, we're sending our deputies out to the scene after the investigation has been done, but before the police leave, so we can tell the police, we want you to get this done. Because if you see it now and you do it now, it doesn't take that much time. If we wait for a couple of months for the case to come in, and then we're giving them work to do, cases get delayed for long periods of time. And I know each one of you have heard complaints from the community of, why is it taking so long for these cases to go forward? By communicating a little bit better, we're doing a better job of getting these cases moving quicker. We're working closely with other prosecutors from different islands on legislation at the legislature, working on training, and we're also coordinating some work share programs. One of my prosecutors who's here, my deputy prosecutor, Paul Mao, who's in charge of our district court, we brought him over from Honolulu. He was working very closely with Peter Carlisle on some big cases, the Uesugi case, the Arakawa case where the officer who got in a crash and killed the young girl. Paul put together all of those PowerPoint presentations and all of those presentations. So we've agreed with Kauai that we'll loan him out. They have Kevin Takata, who we almost had over here, probably the most experienced homicide prosecutor in the state. He's agreed to look at some of our older cases, our cold cases, and so he may be coming over here to prosecute in conjunction with some of our deputies in some of those cases. We're proactively working with the minority and immigrant communities like the Micronesian community leaders to reduce crime and bring them into our community. We're working with various agency groups to bring grant funds and expanding on successful programs such as the Weed and Seed program that we saw in Pahoa. We've currently applied for a grant, which hopefully we get, will bring $1 million into our county. The focus is 3 different areas: downtown Kona business area, the Pahoa area, and the downtown Hilo area. But we're trying to expand some of the things that we know have worked and have brought down the crime. We're working on training. We're training, as we talked about, our deputies. We're training our newer deputies and doing regular little exercises with them so that their trial skills and their case management skills are up to par. Problem solving. Problem solving is a big one for me. We can't keep on doing the same things and expect different results. We're creating innovative solutions with other agencies. One of the things that we're working on right now with probation and intake services and others in the criminal justice system is electronic monitoring. We have electronic monitoring devices. Only 4 people are using it. We're looking at getting that into the district court, and hopefully in the next couple months we'll have maybe 60 people working on those, rather than sending people to our Hilo jail. And oftentimes they get to the jail, they're there for an hour, there's no space, they kick them out. We want to have some consequences. And by the way, the electronic monitoring is paid for by the offender, not the taxpayers. We're improving technology and the way we input data to reduce our overtime costs and improve productivity. And I'll talk to you a little bit about some of our challenges there. We're focusing on traffic safety. As many of you know, Hawaii, the state of Hawaii, has some of the highest fatality rates for alcohol-related crashes. And our county leads the state, right neck and neck with Kauai. So we've taken a prosecutor and we're having him focus on traffic-related issues. Kevin Hashizaki is that prosecutor. He's now the state traffic safety resource prosecutor. He's going and getting training in different techniques and technologies. He's in turn not only training our deputies, but training deputies from around the state. He's also taking on most of the high pub traffic-related fatality cases and habitual DUI cases. We continue to work with elder abuse. Both Terry Truesdale and Lexi McKay are, really fighting hard to protect our seniors, who oftentimes can't protect themselves. We're doing it through both prosecution and prevention. These are just some of the things that we're working on right now. There's a lot more, but I know there's other people who are behind us as well. Just prior to my taking office, we had some very seasoned veterans who left our office. And some of these names many people know because they've been around for over 30 years. Rick Damerville, Janet Garcia, Joyce Seelan, several of our clerical, several people from our victim witness, and of course, Charlene Eboshi. All of these people worked tirelessly for the cause of justice. And the work that each of them did and the knowledge that each of them had, you just can't replace one for one with new people coming in. One of the things that each one of you have to realize and understand, the prosecuting attorney's office is part of the public safety team. We are a big part of that public safety team because cases have to come through us to get things moving. I feel truly blessed to have the staff that I do, and many of these staff believe that they are guardians of justice. They work many hours of overtime. Most of the prosecutors, actually all of the prosecutors who work overtime, they don't get overtime pay. That being said, I feel it's important for me to do all I can do to protect them from burning out. Like most of the other county departments, the prosecutor's office was not immune to dramatic fiscal cuts. And like most of the other departments in the county, we too have positions that have not been filled. While we receive the majority of our funds from the county, we also receive funds from the federal government and other sources. And as many of you are aware, with the federal sequester, some of the previously available federal funds are drying up. One of the big sources of our funds has been the Career Criminal Prosecution and Victim Witness Fund. which we have 9 positions currently out of 10 filled, this has dwindled substantially. Inside of your packets, we have this little chart here. It kind of shows how these positions and funding has really taken a hit. Before I start talking about the chart, though, you have to really ask yourself, who are the career criminals? And why are these funds so important? The career criminals are the worst of the worst offenders we have. These are the people that are committing numerous crimes. These are our murderers. These are our rapists. These are our big drug dealers. These are the people that are coming through the system over and over again, who are taxing everybody in this county. Prosecuting these people is not a choice. It's not discretionary. It's public safety. These people affect everyone. It affects our tourism, it affects our business, it affects everything that happens here, and it affects the county and the county's budget. Now, as you can see from this graph, we received in 1994 $806,702 from the Career Criminal Fund, which, by the way, is part of the state law for them to fund. In the 2013 budget, we're down to $192,000. In the 2014 budget, the one that's going through, we have $148,000 that they put aside for career criminal funding. Now, I have to be honest with you and say that there is another bill that they're trying to get through, supplemental budget, that they put in to fund career criminal and some of these things. That budget is going through a fight, and Nancy Kelly will tell you that we had a budget in there last year for supplemental funding, and we got 0 last year. So we can't just say, oh yeah, we're going to get this money. It's kind of scary. I have another little chart here for you, the Career Criminal Prosecution Program. Just to give you an idea, to fill our career criminal positions, our office needs $471,816. Now, we took some money from our JAG. We had another grant, our JAG grant, you see that $41,817, and there is some money already in the budget for this, $95,000. Even with all that money, we have a shortfall of $186,854. That's a shortfall on live bodies, warm bodies in our office, and it's kind of scary. And again, these are the career criminals are the worst of the worst. You'll see on the chart we also have the victim witness, and you can see in the red bar that's also been diminished over the last several years. And again, the victim witness shortfall costs us $104,000 for 2 positions there. We have a shortfall of $27,799 for our victim witness. The other line on your chart kind of talks about how many cases come to our office, how many cases we charge. I have a chart for you that shows you what this really means. Last year we had over 19,000 cases, 19,484. On this chart, it shows how many prosecutors each of the different county offices have and what that means for each deputy. In our county, I have 33 and 32. Last year we had 33 prosecutors working. At the current time, we have 32 prosecutors, although we have one coming on in May. For us, that means about 590 cases per person. The next highest is Kauai, which has 520. This year, and you'll see from the police, I think they're up about 40% in their calls for service. What we're looking at, if the estimates hold true, we'll have about 22,500 cases coming into our office, which will mean at 33 deputy prosecutor positions, we will have about 683 cases per deputy. If you look at what's happening in the rest of the state, that's crazy. I got to tell you, we have deputies who are there at night. We have deputies that are there on the weekend. We have a couple of new deputies who are there every weekend. We joke with them about taking a furlough Sunday. They don't get paid, but you guys got to take a day off. I got a call Good Friday. I was at a function in Honau now. Brenda was there. We finished about 9:30 or so. I was driving back on Good Friday. About 10:30ish, I get to the Saddle Road. And I get a call from Alert Alarm saying, one of your deputies clocked in earlier today and he hasn't clocked out and we can't get in touch with him. I said, okay, well, I'm heading over the hill. When I get over there, I'll go check the office. As I got over to the Hilo side, I got another call and found out that he just clocked out of the office at about 11 o'clock, 11:30 on Good Friday. No overtime for the deputy prosecutors. We're appointed, they're appointed positions. You can go by any weekend, any night, you'll see people that are working here. These people feel like they are guardians of justice. They have something that they're doing, but as these cases go up, the workload is getting to a burnout stage, and what's in the balance is public safety. The longer it takes for these cases to get through, it's just crazy. The other thing that you have to realize is what's going on with the judiciary. Last year, the judiciary started this program called JEFS, the Judiciary Electronic Filing System. This project was intended to automate and reduce paper consumption for the judiciary. However, this has had a tremendous impact on the prosecutor's office, not only on this island, but on every single island. They've changed the way we file papers. They changed the way we do things. If you look at my overtime for this year's budget, at the current time, we are 2,800% over our allotted overtime budget today. The year is not over yet, and we have no choice. This is something that the judiciary said, you will do this, and you have the manpower to do it. If it's not done, and Councilman Yoshimoto will tell you that the courts tell you to do something and you don't do it, you're looking at getting sanctioned. So it's kind of stressful. I heard earlier the testimony of Mark Au, and I got to tell you, we really support the changes that Mark put forward with you, and we're looking forward to actually taking advantage of some of the things that he's talked about, like leasing of computers. Our technology, we're technologically challenged, shall we say. Our computers are, many of them, 10 years old. I asked, when Dale came in this morning, my first deputy, she turned on her computer, and it took her computer 5 minutes to boot up. That's the first deputy. We have our Kona office. Today, if you were to call the Kona office, their answering machines go on. You can leave a message, but they can't retrieve the message. Half the time, you can call up the office, and we have no phone service. That system's back from 1990. On the Hilo side, we had our phones put in about 5 years ago. We have an issue with our fax machines. We have different fax machines for different divisions, and they're very well used. We have about 5 of them. We have one that is currently working because we're outside of our warranty. And we're lucky to have that one because we had them all down. Something burned out, and it's kind of crazy. Our copy machines, we have an infrastructure that I know you've heard this from other agencies, that is really a problem. So I hate to be begging for money, but without these vital funds, the bottleneck of justice system can result in cases being delayed, and worse, cases getting dismissed. And if your family member has a case and it's taking a year, which, Brenda will tell you, it's not uncommon, especially in negligent homicide cases, that's unexcusable. Justice delayed is justice denied. I'll say it again, truly blessed by the people that work for me. These people are unbelievable. They give. I need to protect them from burnout. And so I ask for your support. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilmember Brenda Ford.
Mr. Roth, you didn't explain the little ribbons.
I'm sorry. I'll be happy to do that.
5 minutes. Don't start my 5 minutes.
So the ribbons, and thank you all for wearing the ribbons. The ribbons are two different colors: the dark blue and the teal. The dark blue represents Child Abuse Awareness Month, and the teal represents Sex Abuse Awareness Month, which is this month. So, and I thank all of you who put them on, and when people ask you, it's important. Our island has had some crazy things happen, as you know, and we need to do all we can to prevent those things. Part of prevention is educating the community.
Okay, now you can start my time. Mr. Roth, it sounds to me that you've got two really serious, well, maybe three, maybe four, a lot. You need some more attorneys, so what are you looking at?
Quite frankly, we're at 32. We have one being hired. We have funds for one right now. I'd really like to have at least 3 more attorneys.
How much each? And how much do they cost?
How much do they cost? The most we can pay is 50% of, 90% of my salary, so that's $99,240, and the least is, I think, $55,000, somewhere around that area. It's about 50% of what I earn.
Okay.
By statute, or by ordinance.
So,
I'm not done.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
At least 2 more clerical people, because right now, with this Jeff's project, I can't tell you how crazy it is. I'm this week losing one of my most experienced clerical staff. She's going over to the judiciary. It's scary. 2,800% on clerical overtime.
2,000?
2,800% over what is budgeted. We have some investigators. Right now, I mean, those are the big things that...
Clerical, how much?
Clerical are about, probably legal clerk 1, 2 levels. We're talking about 30, somewhere around 30,000, 20...
Okay.
36 for
36, okay.
30036.
Is that it? 3 attorneys, 2 clerks?
Yep.
Okay, your phone system.
Our phone system, something kind of interesting, we are on a different phone system from the county. We've talked to Mark Au, and we'd love to be on the same system as the county. It probably is about $200,000 to get our phone system up and running.
Okay, what's that answering machine that doesn't work? Is that part of the phone system?
That's part of the VoIP phone system.
Okay, then you said you needed computers.
What has happened in the past is that the prosecutor's office and we have attained grants to get computers and things like that. Listening to Mark Au and the pitch he made
to lease,
but let me just throw something else inside of that. Not just lease. We should not be saying, okay, prosecutor's office are going to buy phones. Prosecutor's office is going to buy the computers. We should be going in together with the county in that lease, because you buy in numbers and you get a much better price.
Okay, so the $200K for the phone system is to buy it, but you want to lease it.
For the phone system, I think we have to purchase it.
Okay, that's fine. So, but you want the lines to be connected to the rest of the county?
Yes. I'm being reminded, we'd also like to, in the past, we've been able to fund summer interns. We have some people that we're looking at. We've taken volunteers, but, taking law students who could really add to the help would be huge for us. We actually have one for Kona that we're looking at.
You need 2 or 1?
One on each side would be great.
Okay, how much? Not like, just for the public's benefit, I'm asking for the prices. This doesn't mean it's going to be granted.
We're looking at $4,800 per, yeah.
So 10K.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else before I yield?
I think that's it for now. Thank you for
luck.
asking.
Okay, Councilmember Kanuha?
No, he doesn't get to talk. He was late.
Take off 3 minutes. Hello, Mitch.
Hello.
I assure you it takes me 5 minutes to get on my computer and another 5 minutes to boot up my email. So, yeah. I just wanted to ask you about the Justice Assistant Grant.
The JRI?
Yeah. Is that what it is? No.
Oh, the JAG grant.
Yeah.
Okay, so the JAG grant, and I'll ask Dale to help me out with this. It comes to the police 1 year, prosecutor 1 year.
Got it.
Police 1 year, prosecutors 1 year. And you can see that we're using 2010 funds because we kind of stretched those out a little bit. Those have to be spent by September, so they will be spent this year. I think we had about 190,000 back in 2010. I think the last one we had was about 40,000. 90-something. Okay, so and we've received letters from the OJP, Office of Justice Program, saying that they've been hit by the sequester and that will impact their grantees as well, which we are part of. So it's kind of scary for us right now.
Okay, and just one more, just real fast. The Justice Reinvestment, the JRI. So that's going to be just this 1 year?
Well, this is a program of the governor's, and what he's trying to focus on, partly in our office, is looking at restitution and getting restitution for victims. So we have a couple of people in our victim witness unit who are working with victims, which is really nice, because generally our victim witness will only deal with violent crime, and so now we're able to help some of these people who have property crime cases, and it was supposed to be for 3 years. We received funding, and then it wasn't in the governor's budget for next year, and they put it into the Attorney General, so we're hoping that it goes for all 3 years.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Eo?
Yes, thank you, Mitch. So I know you were answering Ms. Ford's question about needing 3 additional attorneys, 2 clerical staff, et cetera, but do you have a dollar amount?
Yeah, and I think for the attorneys...
Or a total?
For a total, if we got 3 attorneys and we got pretty much new attorneys, I would say somewhere around a fair estimate, 60,000 before you get into the fringe benefits and each of those.
So 180?
Yeah, about 180 for 3.
And then this clerical staff?
72?
Actually, Dale's telling me that the attorneys with everything is 89,316 each.
Yeah. So 90.
For fringe and everything.
So
270.
270.
Okay, plus 2 clerical staff
Correct.
Positions.
And those are $30,036.
So another 60.
Yeah. Okay. But that's, you got to realize, we don't know what's going to happen. For the attorneys, this doesn't play a part of it, but for the clerical, we know that there's negotiations with HGA, so that may go up a little bit.
Well, I was just looking for a kind of a rough, and then, but most of that would all be coming from the county.
Yeah. I'm also reminded.
Anywhere else.
I'm also reminded that we're also looking for an account clerk because we had 3 and now we have 2.
Okay.
How much?
28,000 836. Thanks, Dale.
Okay.
I get 569, what do you get?
You know, if I can say, you know, with the career criminal, and this came up a little bit, I have to tell you what happened so you can really appreciate. When the funds started coming down, they started coming down from each island. And what happened was the other islands assumed those positions into the county budget. So right now, I think Kauai has one position, Maui has one career criminal position. Our island, Jay and Charlene took the position that, hey, this money is supposed to be there by statute, and we're not going to do that. So our office, over the past 10 years, has probably saved over $1 million for the county by not doing that. I think the way things are, we really should assume those positions into the county.
Thank you. Councilmember Eoff, are you done?
No, thank you.
Okay. Any other, do you have your light on, Margaret? Councilmember Willie?
Hi, Mitch. To what extent could one maximize the summer legal program with like legal interns? Not what you were saying, well, at least we have one here and one there. What if we just did as, I just see some programs like Jeff's where really if you took a block of people, it could help. And when you're training one summer intern, 2 summers, 3 summers, you're still doing a certain amount of training, whether it's 1 or 6 or 8. And I just wonder, would there, I don't know whether there's staff space limitations or what, but that seems like an area that on some of these catch-up kind of things, that if we just really did something really solid, a really high-level class, and really brought a whole program where these people felt, you know, I'm really getting training, and I'm going to court, and I'm watching, and I'm just really integrate with the Richardson, that we would just, I know I'm not trying to substitute for the need for those attorneys, but I'm also trying to see, you're just trying to keep up, but how do we do where we're actually making progress in some of the backup areas?
You know, that's an excellent question. One of the things our office does is we bring in a cadre of volunteers. We have young volunteers, we have old volunteers. We have students from the college, and then we look for the interns to be paid because they're generally second-year law students, and we have them working on motions and things like that. I think there comes a point though where you could have too many of those people.
That's what I'm trying to figure.
Right. And you know, what's interesting is this year we actually have people who want to go to Kona, and you know, Kona, we've actually moved one of our positions from Hilo to Kona because Kona has been just, I mean, those deputies are going through now, or have went through what the Hilo deputies are kind of going through, just got smashed with cases, and it's been crazy. So, but there comes a saturation point where you have too many.
That's what I'm just asking is.
I think one-on-one right now would be yeah, because then you have to have attorney time to train these people as well.
Okay, and it's in terms of opening of Kulani Prison, and sort of really, I mean, this is something that's of interest to me particularly. And just long term, I know I'm not addressing like tomorrow's budget, but sort of bigger picture. How are we integrating that program with your office so that we're, maximizing or minimizing the number that are going the revolving door and all of that, and sort of coordinating again so that it's not, the state's program and the prosecutor and.
Right. We're working very closely with both Ted Sakai and the Hawaiian groups are looking at restorative justice programs. We feel, I personally feel that we have to be looking at re-entry. In other words, these people who are coming back into our community because they're going to recidivate over and over and over again unless we do something about it. So we've been attending meetings, we've been making recommendations. The Hawaii We Do program, which I think just lost funding, had a very successful year. Their recidivism rate was 0 over like 50 different people. And because it was successful, of course, funding's been good. But, we know that those kind of things work, and so we're trying to do whatever we can.
Right. So I'm just looking at, when you're looking at positions, sort of, all of those things take time, and it's, I can't imagine of having a caseload that big, in terms of going to court, and then how does one do those programs, or also prevention? We're really trying. I look around, how many kids, how many people dealing drugs, on drugs, and or getting out. Even we had somebody that had come and testified that had gotten out, 4 months earlier, and there's what programs, what training.
And let me just say this, again, I am so blessed with the people that work with me. I don't want to say for me, they work with me. I have a special projects coordinator named Timothy Hansen, who is a restorative justice guy in Minnesota, where they really worked on that, and he's looking at some of these restorative justice things and the different projects we're doing. So we are working on those kind of things.
And just in terms of community, so I'm sort of looking at, that's the group that I want to empower. What are we as a county taking on more responsibility for what happens to people when they're getting out, and what do we do? And also in terms of the system, so that it doesn't get to you where it's, here's the victim and here's the abuser. It's like, where do we take that constellation of the couple or the family or the unit and saying, we're putting you all into some kind of counseling or addressing, so it doesn't get to the policeman saying, who am I going to arrest, and threaten, or the woman doesn't want to accuse because she's afraid she's going to lose her kids. I just want to focus on that the prevention and the community training, and the more we do there, it's not tomorrow's budget, but it is the big picture budget. And I just want to know that you're asking and providing for, or have grant writers that are getting you the grants that are also doing what I see as the FAR needs.
Okay. You've got a couple of things, and I know that you guys had R&D over here, and they put someone up as their grant writer. They put Beth as their grant writer. We've actually used Jane Horiki to write not only our Weed and Seed grant, but the current burn grant. She collaborated with us. A big part of what you're saying, though, is it's not for the county to do all this stuff. We're trying to work together and bring the community in. So you'll see today we have our ribbons here for child abuse awareness and sex assault awareness. Next week, I'll just give a plug for the Zonta, where we'll be wearing our jeans. So you see prosecutors wearing jeans. That's to support women, and because there was a judge in Italy that said this woman's jeans were too tight and so she deserved to be raped. And we as a community need to say, hey, look, we're not going to take that anymore. This is not the police's problem. This is not the prosecutor's problem. This is not the council's problem. This is all of our problem. And by you guys wearing your ribbons and telling people that, hey, this is, we're taking responsibility, not just as the police and as a community, saying we need to do better. It's about us working with our special projects coordinators, with our kids, saying how can we make these kids succeed so they're not going to prison.
But what I want to say is I need some of your time to mobilize that power. It's not just me. It's taking that. We need you so they don't come in here to the prosecutor's office. So I'm just looking at, carving out, making sure there's sufficient funding that in my position or my communities, that they're able to do it and do it in a meaningful, ongoing way, and not just, oh, we're all really excited, we're going to wear jeans this week. Oh, and then check that box, we'll move on.
Okay.
Anyway, I think
Thank you.
I want to make sure that you're looking at not just the short term, but the big picture, long-term prevention budget.
Absolutely.
Are you?
Absolutely, we are.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Councilmember Iligan?
Thank you, Madam Chair. How's it going? Good afternoon, Prosecutor Roth.
Good afternoon, Councilman.
I got a couple questions, and I was hoping you could clarify this for me. As I look over your last 10 fiscal years on your full-time equivalent, the 2012, you had 91 staff members. And currently, right now, you have 110. And I'm just curious, when I'm looking through...
Okay, so let me just explain. We have 110 positions.
Okay.
I think we have 91 filled.
Filled.
Yeah.
91 filled.
Yeah, I think it's actually 90 filled right now.
90 filled right now.
Yeah, but we have 110, like everybody else, there's positions that are unfunded, vacant, you'll see vacant and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And now we do have some positions that are added and they're still vacant for the JRI because we weren't sure we could hire. So I think we've hired one of 6 positions for the JRI, waiting to get the word from the legislature that we have money, because we can't hire people unless we know that we have funds there.
Okay.
We have funds and positions you'll see for CCP. I think there's probably like 12 CCP positions. We have 9 people in those positions because they're unfunded.
So what I'm seeing is what's being counted in the total is unfunded positions?
Correct.
Okay. That's why I was...
Or vacant as well.
Or vacant.
Right.
So... that was my question, because I wasn't sure exactly what it was, because I'm looking at it and it says 110, and looking over your last 10, 110 would be like the most amount of positions that
But you can take a look and, you know, you'll see.
Yeah, I see vacant.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure if they were counting that.
Yeah.
It doesn't tally the amount. It just says at the end 110.
Okay.
And when I'm looking at the authorized, it breaks it down to what was authorized, 83 and 27. That's 110.
Right.
So what am I... it doesn't say... Because I can see the investigator temp. It has a dash, and that's not authorized.
If I can call out a lifeline to Nancy Crawford to...
Nancy, could you help a council member out here?
Or Nancy Kelly.
No, this is really, I mean, the short answer is the 110 is how many positions they have total, not how many are filled right now.
Okay.
Was that the question?
Yes, that's exactly
okay,
what
Mitch was exactly right, yes.
Yeah, so 91 currently filled. However, you have 110 positions, so 19 positions unfunded or vacant.
Right. So if you want to give us over $1 million, we're happy to take it and fill them all. No problem.
I think Councilmember Willie can find.
Are you done?
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Kern?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, Mr. Roth.
Good afternoon.
So the common theme that we've been seeing is that nobody has enough money. Nobody has enough money to do the demand is there. The demand is growing. Obviously, right here with your caseload per deputy prosecuting attorney, this is going to be more. Same thing with IT. I think something that would be helpful, we'll talk about this after the next budget, is what would it actually really take budgetary to run an efficient office comparable more to Maui County? And I don't want that answer right now. I'm going to talk to you about that after. I think it should deserve some thought. I'd like to talk to pretty much every department to see what are we looking at big picture, because there's going to be decisions that we have to make down the road. And if we're just kind of, this is a different process right now. We're going to do the best we can right now to move forward with the best service that we can. But overall, I think as a council, we need to understand what is this projection? How much is it going to cost us as a county to run? And so I'll sit down and talk with you about that. I commend you guys for doing the work that you guys do with this amount of cases and the amount of prosecutors you guys have. Hang in there. We're here. We'll do our very best for you guys. So thank you for you guys' service.
We appreciate it. And like I said, I can't say enough how awesome the people who work for me are, and I can see them burning out, and it's killing me. It's killing them.
Thank you. Councilmember Onishi?
Thank you. Hey, good morning. Good afternoon, Mitch. I just want like that total, I guess, like criminal traffic, domestic violence, all this. You have like 19,440. Out of all that, how many are repeated offenders? Would you please have like the stats?
I don't have the stats, but
if you have,
quite a few.
Maybe email me that.
Yeah, the OJ Office of Justice, they say that 55% of the criminals commit 10% of the crimes. 10% of the criminals commit 55% of the crimes. 20% commit 80% of the crimes. That's a national average. So a lot of these people are the same people. And I know we've dealt with things downtown.
Right.
Almost every single one of those people, are multiples on this chart just in a year.
Okay. So possibility, some solutions could be like maybe making stricter laws. Is that a possibility?
It is a possibility, however.
Because for the inclusion, exclusion law. I mean, that's like we're trying to make it.
Well, and that's not a criminal. It is, but it isn't.
Right?
It's kind of like a trespass,
right.
And the idea is to have consequences. Right now, one of the reasons why we're going to this electronic monitoring that I talked about, these guys get sent to HCCC, and they don't have space, so they put them back in our community. And there's no consequences. Why not? If you know there's going to be consequences, you're going to get dinged, you're going to have to pay for this electronic monitoring thing, you're going to be arrested just by being in this area.
So to do the electronic monitoring, you can do that already?
We're working, we have the equipment, we have the intake services who monitors the equipment. They're willing at this point to allow us to use their equipment. We're not the only agency that has a problem. Adult probation.
No, but just with you guys. So
no. Adult probation. Yeah, you need a probation officer because they're on probation. You need a probation officer to work with them. We said, look, let's do probation officer, less probation. You give them the terms and conditions. You're going to be on electronic monitoring. If they violate intake service, you let us know. We'll file the revocation. And so I think everybody's kind of looking at that. The judges are looking at it and saying, well, why not try it?
And so what is the delay, like funding?
No, we're still just kind of ironing out how it works. It's kind of a new idea because we've had things that have thrown up and said you can't do it. Well, why can't we do it? And so we've looked at the challenges.
So the courts are saying you can't do that.
We haven't had the courts. The courts are interested in doing it, so we're just working out.
Who's saying that you guys can?
Well, the idea is within the last 2 months.
Oh.
So we're just working out the procedures to do it.
Okay.
I think it's going to happen, and I think what will happen because of this, what we're doing here in Hawaii County, the state is looking at doing a probation. We don't have probation for DUI cases. They're looking at doing maybe a probation so we can put these guys on electronic monitoring and do the tracking.
Okay, thank you. The next thing I wanted to kind of check on is domestic violence. It's been a rising cause for this island, and just recently now I remember the case where the cashier at KTA, her case, and I knew that from shopping there, and then now just recently the mother, that's a very close friends of our family, and ever since the KT one, I really wanted to try and see how we could increase funding or how we could get things going to help protect the victims, right? And I never really got anything from prosecutors. So, what else can we do? Well,
I'm going to tell you something. You look at these statistics, you see domestic violence and juvenile cases. Those are family court cases. I would say 90% of those cases are between 4 deputies. Okay, and that's taking the juvenile cases and domestic. And these are
okay.
Severe,
I understand. Okay, but I'm just saying, what you need more funding, or the law's got to be more strict.
I think we need more funding. We need, it'd be great if we could have
or like
2 more deputies. Honestly, we probably need 2 more deputies to do justice here.
Yeah, because to me the TRO, that paper is nothing.
Correct.
It ain't gonna protect someone, a victim, if that other person comes and assault that person. What they're gonna do? It's not a shield, right? And they're gonna just break right through it. So, but that's why I always wanted to see if you folks needed more funding, or like something, or laws got to be changed, or
I think we need more funding because,
and that would be more deputies.
It would mean more deputies.
Okay. And the last thing I would have: do you have stats where per each deputy prosecutor you have, like how many cases that person takes, and what is their, conviction rate, or what is,
I think we could probably put something like that together. I know we have there's an ongoing case log, how many cases each one of them has.
Okay. If I can get that.
Okay. I don't know if we'll show, how many convictions and stuff like that.
Or how many cases,
how many cases, but we definitely have a case log.
Okay.
I'd probably have to have you come over and just take a look, because some of that information is...
Okay, sounds great.
Is confidential. We'd probably have to take out the names.
Okay, thank you.
Is everyone, the first round done? Okay, we're going to do Councilmember Ford.
Mitch, you said, when I asked you about computers, you said, well, you want to go with what Mark's recommending to lease. But that didn't answer my question. How many people in your department need a new computer that's up to speed, has the whole thing? Is this 91 people? Are we dealing?
No, we did. We had a tech grant this last year. We just received, I think, 22. I think we probably have. We're just looking at this number. I think it's 63 more computers.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilmember Woolley, you had your mic on? Okay. So I think that's it for your presentation, but thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Being very patient with us and coming back after lunch. So I thank all of you.
Thank all of you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.